Welcome to the wonderful world of wellness with Dr. Andy Mencia. This medical program heard from 7 to 7:30 each Saturday right here on WSBR 740 AM is brought to you by the Adult and Geriatric Center under the medical direction of geriatrician Dr. Andy Mencia. Here we go, and I was beating up on Dr. Mencia because we had people beating up on me why you did not come to the expo.
First of all, we have to say thank you to all the people that support the expo. It's so important, you know. But being a doctor, my priority is always the patients, and I have so many people that day that needed to be seen.
I have an idea.
Yes.
Next expo,
I can open my office
there.
there.
No, right. No. Listen, seriously, I have a room that there are people who get tested with hearing, for their hearing, and I could set up another little area, get your patients to come there that day. Really,
They get tested for one.
You know what? I may just make this Dr. Mencia's medical
they get
day.
tested
What
for
did you
one?
say? No, but seriously, maybe we have to have you come there and you could set up your practice. I don't know. I mean, that could be interesting. But anyway, okay.
So we have a wonderful guest today.
We do.
Yes, like always.
Why don't you...
Now, why don't you introduce him? Because he's a guy.
Oh, I know. I love you. You bring... forget the women that you bring here.
Oh,
Tell them to stay home.
Lady.
Stay home. Just bring the good-looking guys here. Okay, John Guerin, correct?
That is correct.
Correct. And Advantage Healthcare Medical Supply. And I met... John at one of our last expos, but I also had the privilege of going over to his beautiful, it was a beautiful place, and people, I remember when I went there, the people were so nice. I don't know who you hire. They're from Europe somewhere. Mm-hmm. I could tell that. I remember this because they were so wonderful. I was listening. I always like to listen to how people are taken care of on the phone, because when I go to Dr. Mencia's, they are fantastic, and I appreciate that. That's why I like him.
Some of them.
No.
Johnny's American.
He would kill them if they did.
But
He would kill them. No, but I was very impressed because
he's international like me.
Yeah,
in his office.
Yeah, it is.
That's why we get along so
No,
nicely.
you're right, and I forget where they were from.
We have people from Russia. We have people from Ukraine. We have some Cuban folks now working for the company.
They were terrific,
very multinational.
and I went there purposely because I heard of something called the Rebuilder. Mm-hmm. And I heard it from Dr. Mencia, and he's going to tell about it, and I'm going to let you all talk, but I do thank you for coming here.
She's going to let us talk.
That's right. I know.
I am, really.
She's handing it off. She's tired already.
Dr. Mencia, you're the host, and you tell me about the Rebuilder and why you brought this very cute guy here.
I have to invite John over because I've been working with his company. They introduced me to Rebuilder. And like any product that comes out, the first thing I want to do is, do my personal research, make sure there's something worth my while and my patient time. And I researched the information. I was so impressed by the fact that the guy that invented this was also the same person that invented the ear thermometer for kids.
Really?
And when you go and dig into why he invented this is this guy trying to make money. It was a personal issue. His kid went to the pediatrician and they put the thermometer with the mercury in the kid's mouth. And the kid was getting hyper and all of that. And he said, that's not a good thing. Mm-hmm. So he came up with the idea, right, John?
That is 100%. That's
and tell
exactly
us how did he come up with the Rebuild?
With the Rebuilder, his mother had neuropathy, and basically there was nothing out in the market whatsoever to be able to treat that. So he figured, well, I have to come up with something. I have to relieve her pain. I have to help her out. And over years of studying, 2-3 years, he came up with this device and basically he patented it and started selling it out in the market, and really for something for a personal need. And
so
now
tell
he's
us
helping
what it does.
thousands and thousands of people.
How does it work?
Okay, so basically what it does is it works, what it does is it stimulates the peripheral nerves on a person's body. So the thing for neuropathy, what happens is over time, blood flow gets worse in the hands and the feet, and people start to lose the capability of the nerves to connect with one another. And when the nerves lose connection, they get pain, they get numbness, they get tingling, they get all of those nasty types of things. And what this device does is it stimulates those nerves again to re-educate the brain to start those nerves working once again. The blood starts to flow, and when the blood starts to flow, it relieves the pain. So it's a really amazing...
The way I like to explain it to the patient, I say, if you're listening to the radio station and you are between 3 stations, and you are not clear of what's coming through. So the sound, you're trying to hear whether the music or the conversation, but there are other sound coming in, and it's taking you in 2 or 3 different directions. The nerves are sort of like the wave of a radio station. The reason I like
this, he does this all the time. I mean, he talks about the biggest medical thing, and he puts them in little boxes with ribbons. And
makes it easy to understand.
Isn't it fantastic? That's what makes him brilliant. Go ahead, I didn't interrupt you, but you have to. So the nerves are
if you
like
speak,
a train station.
I'm always there listening to my patient, and like John well said, is the sensation. They lose sensation, but also they become hypersensitive to other things. So, for example, the hair that touch the skin, they feel like ants crawling up their feet. Mm-hmm. So they get all this sensation that is really disturbing to the patient. And believe me, when the patient go to the doctor, whatever the doctor will give them for that, they will take it. And I see patients coming to me taking 2 or 3 medications, taking Neurontin, taking Lyrica, taking this, taking that, 2 or 3 medications, trying to help them. Not because they are losing the sensation, but the hypersensitivity that they have, the body perceive, is what really bothers them the most. The problem with the loss of sensation is that if you have a nickel inside your shoes, you will notice you have that there. And it can create an ulcer, and you can lose, you can have amputation or loss of some of your toes or, your foot or what have you. So people can end up with amputation. So people with a neuropathy, it can be really, really bad. People end up losing limb, and those that don't end up losing their limbs, they end up living a miserable life when they hate to go to sleep.
Yeah, they get the burning. They get massive burning sensation when they go to sleep at night, and that's the worst part of it. It's they can't get comfortable, and it's Dr. Mencia, this. One of the other things is most of the patients that have this condition are just miserable all of the time because they want to go to the mall, they want to go walk around. They can't feel their feet, or their feet are aching all the time, things such as that. And it really just degrades their lifestyle. We've had patients before that, we had one woman that we treated. We have this, by the way, on over 2,000 patients here in the Tri-County area with really 90 to 95% success rates. We had one lady who her whole life, she was doing crochet, basically the stitching, small stitching, and her hands became so bad that she couldn't feel anything. She couldn't feel the needles or anything else, so she had to give it up. And this is something that helped her to be able to get that back.
Let's describe.
Tons of different things.
I think it's very important you describe exactly what this looks like.
It's very simple. It's a small device about the size of a mobile telephone. It has 2 analog dials on it, so 2 little just dials that you set intensity on it. And it has a wire going off of it, runs on a 9-volt battery or on a plug, and it has 2 garments. So if you're treating your feet, it has socks that you have to put on. If you're treating your hands, it has gloves that you put on, and that's it. And it's a 30-minute treatment twice a day.
And it doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt. It feels like little tinglies.
Tingling sensation.
Yeah, little
because
tingling
what
sensation.
You're doing is trying to take the nerves and wake them up.
Get them on the right street. That's what you were saying.
Exactly. We are fine-tuning the radio so we pick up 1 station and not 3 stations.
It's really
at the same
interesting.
Time.
I have
you
to
like
just.
That. You
can, that's good. I like that one. I'm going to use that one now when I'm talking to people.
Something very, very important that Dr. Mencia said, and he does this with a lot of things. When you go to another doctor, the first thing is, okay, well, you feel these tingling things, and he's thinking to himself, she's going a little crazy, because that's what they do with older people. They think that they're having other problems. We're just going to give you a tranquilizer. We're going to give you a little something. You'll feel better, right?
Exactly.
And that's what he will not allow. He doesn't do it, because if there's a
and that's a
possibility,
wonderful thing, because it's
And one other thing with those patients, if you go to your doctor with this symptom and they give you a tranquilizer, run away from there, because tranquilizer and poor sensation to the feet is a fall waiting to happen. Those patients are going down.
Yeah, they're gonna fall, and they're gonna wind up in the hospital. They're gonna break something, and just go on the full
Of course,
spiral
we know what
path down.
happens then.
And the worst part too is all physicians that tend to look at the picture of, okay, let's see what other types of drugs, all the drugs that Dr. Mencia mentioned, Neurontin, all those other things, they interact with other drugs.
That's right.
Seniors,
Besides, they are not clean drugs.
They're
Some
not
of
clean.
these drugs, they are very dirty. There's a lot of side effects. You have to go in for neuropathy. You have to go in very high doses.
Yeah.
I had a patient that came to me before I met you, and she was taking Neurontin 900 milligrams 3 times a day.
Wow.
A petite old lady, 900 milligrams 3 times a day. So, oh my God, how can you function like this? And she said, well, I'm in a wheelchair now, but at least I don't feel my feet that much.
wow.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I
it's-
want to know now. So, if someone wants this, do they come to see you, and then you work with him with it? How should somebody
There are two ways of
respond?
doing it.
Okay.
They can call the office directly, and John or Olga, one of the staff there, will take care. They are excellent. The staff, like you said, when you went there, they are excellent staff. They are very caring. They follow through on their clients. They can also come to my office, and we'll make sure that they get the
They get it.
equipment.
Yeah, and this is-
covered. It's covered by insurance, by the way.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
fantastic.
it's fully
Well-
covered by insurance, and the key thing is to, you go see Dr. Mencia, go see physicians that are working with it, but the main thing is that it's part of a full treatment plan as well, because all the things that he's talking about, you get patients, and I know you have these patients that have come to see you after the show, after various different events, things such as that have been on 10 or 20 different medications, and that's the other big problem, because you don't know. Some of these patients, it's amazing. You start getting them onto a real program that is a full, whole treatment plan for them. This being part of it, other things, it really does help them a lot.
I had my good friend Edward from Senior Helper, and he brought me a patient to see if I could help the patient because she was in the donut hole. And I became a hero because she was taking 4 medication for neuropathy. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to order this equipment. You are going to use it twice a day. You're going to stick to the plan, and I'm going to start taking you off from medication the moment the equipment arrived.
And did you?
As soon as the equipment came in, I took the first drug out and left alone the other cleaner of all the medication she was taking. In a week later, took the other one out. She told me, Dr. Mencia,
Fantastic.
after 4 treatment, this equipment made me feel so much better. And then I got her out of the donut hole.
This is
Because when you have this kind of condition, it's like a diabetic patient. If I give you a wedding cake once a day, you're going to take so many drugs trying to control your sugar that you will never get there. I can give you a pharmacy through your mouth and you won't control the sugar. You have to attack it from both sides.
It's amazing and to hear a physician talk about medications like this. That's why we've just loved him. This wonderful world of wellness, which Dr. Mencia and I have been doing for probably the last year or so, has really has made a difference.
To you. Happy birthday.
Oh God! You know what? Let's do a Saturday
I won't
Night
sing. I
Live
don't sing
show.
well,
We're
so.
gonna do but I have to give some phone numbers here. First, that's going to give Dr. Mencia's number because there's so many.
954
I get in trouble.
1345. We open on Saturday. Richard, don't take me off the air.
Okay.
Great. That's good.
You know what's funny? Poor Rosemary. She wants her children to listen to the show, but we always get a little things in there. She's afraid their daughter's not going to like, so we're very careful. But let me just give this phone number, please. 954-489-1345, and that's really the place where Dr. Mencia is, and his office is over there on Commercial, very close to Holy Cross Hospital. It's very convenient, lots of parking. People are so nice. Even if you're going to another doctor, you ought to go there really as what I call a second opinion, and probably you're going to want to stay there because people are very smart there. He has a huge amount of doctors that work with him, all part of his practice. Now, let me also give John Guerin's number. It's the Advantage Healthcare Medical Supply. If you want to just go there and meet with them, or the time I was there, they were delivering stuff, and I know they deliver. But the phone number there, it's also a toll-free number, and it's 877-925 2880, and I'll repeat that, 877-925-2880. Remember, get that pencil out. This is Pencil Talk Radio.
And we're a 7x24, but please don't call and ask about this at like 2 in the morning. I get the phones a lot of times at night, so.
but the key thing is neuropathy, especially now with people being treated for cancer. I want to go because we know that the first thing that happens to them is they can't feel anything.
Right.
And so people who are suffering, usually people just say, well, that's what happens when you get the treatments. Just live with it because at least you're living. That's not true.
That's not true.
Let me add something on that. That's a very good point. The Cancer Centers of America, there are 500 of them. It's the organization that does all of the, the oncology treatments, etc. They recently, which is I believe 3 months ago, with the manufacturer of Rebuilder, did a contract to place 2 Rebuilders in every single office nationwide. Because they tested this for 6 months, and basically the Rebuilder showed such good efficacy, such good results with all the patients for helping them reduce that that lack of feeling or that loss of feeling and everything. It was amazing. It worked very, very well.
That says a lot about it.
One of the chiropractors that I use, Dr. Stephen Thomas, he told me that he has an equipment in his office, and he uses a lot for his patients.
Well, so here I go now. I got to just get ready. You ready? You're looking at me. He's
Always.
ready. He's
I
ready.
was born ready.
I know. You're born ready. Now, what else can this equipment do?
Oh, well.
No. Now you're jumping into my research. I have, Dr. Diane Miriam we're working on a research on that part. Yeah, we're building our own rebuilder.
Now you have to, this is a funny thing. You mentioned that part, but Dr. Phillips, who's the creator of the device, he said one of his patients actually tried that with a sock, and it works. It enhances blood flow. It works. It enhances blood flow, so that part works. You just need it slightly different.
Yeah, but it is funny how our bodies really do respond to all these different things, and we're not using enough of it.
But everything also goes to how well your circulation is. That's the biggest thing. It's we have a lady that works in our office. She scrubs all of our files for billing, make sure everything is good for prior to processing. And she had somebody had hit her in her car, rear-ended her probably about a month ago, and she had back pain, and she went to the chiropractor. Nothing helped. We put a brace on her. Nothing helped, and said, well, look, why don't you try this out? She put the Rebuilder on, I'm serious, for literally a week, and afterwards nothing, because it's helping the blood flow, and whatever got disjarred back there, this helped because it forces basically the body to start working the correct way.
So if someone has a pacemaker, can they still use this?
Yes, but there's no issues. Actually, you have good results. You had somebody test on that.
Yes. As a matter of fact, one of my cardiologists say, okay, I'm going to let my patient have this, but the first trial have to be in your office, so it's well supervised. So I brought the pacemaker. I brought the pacemaker people to test it. We brought the equipment. John got me the equipment right in the office. We did everything in the office. I gave them a room in the back. I said, guys, you put this together, and I got the okay from the pacemaker machine, the equipment. They say, no, this is perfect, no interference. I say, great. We call the cardiologist. We are all good. The patient is happy.
But this is so unusual in the medical practice, isn't it? It's usually, no, we can't do this, we can't do that.
Well, the beauty, we have research. So Dr. Diane Miriam in the office, if I have any problem, I say, from the research department, she's, the main coordinator. She can look at something and say, let's study this and make sure that it's all kosher, everything is good, we take off.
And so it's called Rebuilder, which is important. And for people who have neuropathy, you've just heard this.
Spell it for the pencil talk.
Okay, for the pencil. So it's Rebuilder.
That is
Very
correct.
simple,
That is
Rebuilder.
correct. Very
And neuropathy, that's funny. That name, 25 years ago, people, general public, did not know that. But you brought up a good point, Dr. Mencia, and many of your points. But people with diabetes, this is really serious stuff. That's right, because they don't feel something, right? And it's not going to help diabetes, but it's going to help the nerves.
It's going to help the nerves, absolutely. And the way I do it, which is unique to my practice, is that because I am so much into holistic approach, I have a cocktail of vitamin that I use with my patients. And it's no vitamin that I'm selling. One of my patients that came to see me, he said, I always listen to the show. I'm always listening to you. It's so educational. And I'm always waiting. When is that pinch line? When is going to sell something? I do give a list of vitamin. I write it down for you. And I say, this is what I want you to take. You buy it from wherever you want to. Just make sure they are good vitamin. They are proper. Because a lot of junk vitamins out there. There's a lot of fake stuff. So, we do our research in the center so that we tell the patient this is the right thing for you to take. So we use the cocktail of vitamin with the Rebuilder, and the vitamin, they are so cheap. The Rebuilder basically is covered by your insurance. Most insurance will cover, not all of them, unfortunately. But you can always, talk to your insurance and get it covered. And that combination have worked for me almost 100%. Every patient that I put thus far, I have not had a patient come back to me and say, this is doing nothing for me.
Amazing. Now, are we renting this machine? Is that what it does?
The way that it works, and that's a good point, too, because the other aspect is all of the insurances cover this as a rental for the first month. So there's the charge to the insurance companies, whether it's Medicare, Humana, Aetna, whoever that is a very minimal cost. It's around $30 to $40 for the first month for the patient to try it. If the patient's getting positive results, they go back, they see Dr. Mencia, they say, look, this is working, great. If it's not working, which I don't think has happened, but if it's not working, then we just pick it back up. And we do all this, we deliver it to the home, we educate the patient how to use it. We do like 45 minutes, we even have a little video. Not of any of the dirty stuff. But you have a video of it.
But the video shows how you can put it on,
It
and what
shows you
it's
how
going
to
to
put
do.
it on. It shows you how to do all of that aspect. We tend
30
to just
30 minutes.
Yeah, we
that's
tend
a
to
long
do.
time.
Yeah, we tend to do it. We tend to show the patient more.
Wow.
So our guys go out, and what they do is they actually have a kit on their own, and they put it on themselves. They show the patient how to do it. Then they let the patient do it.
Wow.
And then they let the patient repeat it, and then basically ask questions.
That's
It's a little bit
fantastic.
simpler that way, because most people won't watch the video. If you just put something down in front of somebody, they're
No, you're right.
forget
It's
it.
better
It's
to do
easier
it what
show
you're doing.
it.
But the video's good then to relook at it
Exactly.
if they don't have it.
And we do a full manual and all those things.
You know,
so.
Dr. Mencia, it's wonderful that you brought John Guerin here this morning for this, because I know that
I like
neuropathy.
to put him on the spot. You know what
Yeah.
I'm going to
Sure.
do?
We're going to do some other ones too. We'll do some
What
other
I'm
shows.
gonna,
That's
what I
cool.
want to do with John, I want to do an open house because I believe in this thing so much. I want to do an open house in my
Let's
office.
do that.
And
That'd be
then
great.
bring a few of the equipment so people can look at this, because people will be amazed. Let me
great.
tell you, if you're taking at least one drug because you are having problem with your feet, this is the equipment to have. It's covered by most insurance. And I prefer, if you are my mother or my father, my brother or my sister, I prefer that you take nothing if
Yes.
there is an opportunity for that.
No, that's very, very important.
I
But
think an open house is
Yeah, I love that. That's a good
I think
idea.
it's a
We're going to
very good
announce it.
idea.
Yeah, okay, sounds
on
good.
Yeah.
my show will be announced the open house
Well,
coming soon.
That's right. If we're going to do that, because we're just now finishing our August issue, so if we're going to do that, we're going to talk about. I got to get something into our seminar page, and we have to put it. Maybe we'll put it in your ad, because if you want to do it in August, we have to do that.
That'd be great.
It would
I
be
think
really
it's a
nice. A lot of
wonderful
people are
idea.
going to come just to meet Dr. Mencia. I mean, you have to stand in the background a little bit, but then we'll let you pull out your Rebuilder, and of course, but I like the idea that they're coming to you, so you make sure it's the right thing for them, Dr. Mencia.
Everything in my office, I make sure
Yeah,
that
then
if-
you can recommend it. Now, do you have to give a prescription? for it, or they could just get it
We
without it?
write it. No.
No,
We
you have
write
to have a
the
prescription order to the
right,
insurance company
right.
to say that it's necessary, right?
Absolutely.
So we have to really do this through Dr. Mencia. So please do call him at his number at 954-489-1345. You can also go, he has a great website now, and he has a lot of his shows on the website. You can go to geriatrics.tv. Geriatrics.tv, and we do need to say that again, that Dr. Mencia is a geriatric physician with all the classes, the
training.
courses, the
Training
training.
for that,
It's
a lot
not.
of it.
It's very rare. There aren't a lot of people like that here in South Florida.
There's a lot of people that call themselves geriatrician, and when I'm lecturing, I say, "Oh, I didn't know you are a geriatrician also because I see it in their business card." And I say, "Well, I've been practicing medicine in South Florida now for 5 years, so I guess that makes me one." I
qualifies.
say, "No, not really."
No, it's really true, and that's why I want to say
I
that.
did 2 years of
Yeah.
fellowship training, research, coordinator. There's so many things for to become a geriatrician.
Yes, but it shows in the way that you handle what you're talking about.
I love my field.
Well, you know that people shouldn't be on medication. You know, if a person weighs 100 pounds, they shouldn't be on a lot of medication because there's no way.
You're on 900 milligrams 3 times a day. Oh my God.
But you watch people, and I
Walking around
have
like
to
a
say
zombie
this,
at that point.
and I do have to say this about Dr. Mencia because I've heard about it, and it's not that we're going to promote it exactly, but if you're very ill and you can't get to the office, I got to tell you something. He's not going to let you out there by yourself. I know
No,
him enough to know
absolutely.
if you're one of his patients and it's impossible for you to get there, and that's rare. When my mother's very, very ill, I paid a doctor to come because no one would come. So
He was doing a house call yesterday.
I
We
was-
had a
I was-
meeting later in the
See,
evening.
exactly.
We wound up having to postpone it because he was doing a house call.
this is amazing. Well, as usual, we usually
And when
run
I
out
went
of
to do
time.
the
but
when I went to do the
no.
house call, the wife said, "I'll pay you privately,
Yeah.
for you to come and see my husband." I said, "No, it's covered by
Yeah.
your insurance. It's all covered. You don't have
See,
to pay
it
me."
is amazing, doctor. But a lot of them won't go. See, doctors won't go, but you do
And we are
because.
open on Saturday.
Oh yeah. Oh right. Okay, and we're gonna.
Saturday.
And he has to go now. But you know what? If you are suffering from neuropathy, I am sure that if he says it's going to help you, you must go do it. And we'll tell you when we're going to.
954-489-1345. You can call
Thank
John
you.
directly.
And 877-925-2880.
I'm leaving. I'm just leaving.
We're too covered. Bye, Anita.
Bye.